Hello everyone, welcome to Cobalt Academia's Hacking Kafka video series. I'm Busra, aka RU1R0, an offensive security researcher and a pentest architect at Cobalt.io. With Hacking Kafka video series, I will show you how to exploit vulnerabilities that we encounter every single day during pentests. In this specific video series, I will explore SQL injection with different attack scenarios. If you're ready, let's jump in.
Hi everyone, so in this example we will see how to exploit a SQL injection vulnerability using probably one of the most common tool, which is SQLMap. So I'm using Rabbit from HackTheBugs for this specific example, and I already detected the vulnerability by doing the basic enumeration. So in this complaint page, when you're trying to assign someone assign complaint, you're seeing that comp ID parameter is vulnerable to SQL injection. If you include one single code, it's giving you this error message by saying there is an error in your SQL syntax. So what I've done is I am just sending this to, I'm sending this copy to file under root, under temp, sending this as post.request. This file already exists, but I'm not gonna just save it again because I already saved this file. So I know that this variable, this parameter is giving me the SQL error. So I will move on with it. So what I'm doing is SQLMap and using -r option for the request, and the file name is post.rec. I'm generally writing level 4 risk tree in almost every single SQLMap attempt. Then I am writing DBMS if I already know it, which is MySQL. It will give me, it will make me gain some time, which is MySQL. So what else do I know? It's the parameter, which is comp ID. Right, didn't copy it, doesn't matter. So what I can write, what else I can write is I can add batch option if I want to go with default options when SQLMap asks me a question. And the next thing I can do is I can see DBS to see databases, and I will just send the SQLMap request in this way. At the same time, I'm splitting my screen to show you. This is way too quick. I was just going to show you the settings for SQLMap, the options that you can use, but maybe we can do it the next time. So the available databases are in here. One option that you can do is, I will just show you really quick. What you can do is you can just take all this and say dump all. It will dump all the data in every single database that SQLMap sees here. I will do it in the background. It just dumps all the data, but I want to go more meaningful here. For instance, if I choose a database as secret because it looks juicy, I want to see the tables here, right? So let's see what tables does this database have. It has users, looks juicier than ever. Let's go with users table, and I want to see the columns. So let's see what columns do they have. Password and username. That looks way too juicy. So from there, I will just dump all the data with dump because I already specified database. I don't need to say dump all. And I'm deleting the batch option here because when you say dump and if it sees hashes, it will try to crack it. And I don't want it to crack it. I want it to ask me. So it asks me a question, you can follow it. Original, yes. Send the original one. Do you want to store hashes on a temporary file? No, thank you. I just want to see them. I don't want to crack them right now. So these are the hashes that you can see. Ah, that's amazing. If you want to also crack the files, crack the hash file, crack the hashes, you can just add batch option because it will take the answer if you want to crack the hashes as yes, and it will try to crack it with the current dictionary. So let's see what we'll have in here. While it's been done, maybe we can see what kind of options do we have for SQLMap. So I'm generally using this -HH, which is the advanced help, and I'm generally saying less to see it, not like cat and seeing all of them in here. So it's a bit slow, interesting. If we were given the URL, we would use -u option, but we just saved the request in a file, so we use -r instead of -u. So if you're using -u, you can also add all these options for the request, but we already included the request, so we don't need these. What else we can have is -p parameter. We already knew which one is vulnerable, so we already provided -p. We knew the database management system, so we provided this. We provided level and risk to see attack at some level. You could have provided technique like union or something. It's also time-based, injectable, I guess. So the juicy information while you're getting with enumeration is you could have learned users, passwords. These are generally cool information to know, privileges, roles for the current user, DBS for databases that we use, tables, columns. We all use this because if you're dumping every single data, it's taking so much time. And imagine that this database is something that you see during the pen test, so you probably don't want to dump everything because you don't have so much time and you could have just dumped sensitive information that may be a bit trouble to download in here. So learning DBS, databases, then table names, columns, and going in a more smart way is better, I think, in general, for both time and also to be more safe. So what else do we have? So if you want to write a file, read a file, SQLMap also has these options. If you want to get an OS shell, SQLMap provides you these options, and this is pretty much it that you can see. So if you're bored and you say, no, I don't want you to crack it anymore, you can just say Control C to stop it. The only one that's cracked is the username Malik's password hash, which is Barcelona. Nice. And the others are not cracked yet. You can try to crack it using hashcat or something or Joan, or you can use the online crackers. But SQLMap already provides us these information. It's pretty juicy. And okay, if I stop the other one, what do I see here? Let's see. So it couldn't detect, it couldn't dump this current instances. Uh, it dumped all these databases, and that's it. So as you can see, it's more meaningful to dump data that you only want to dump. So that was it. Hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you have any questions so I can provide you more information regarding SQLMap or any other topic regarding SQL injection. Cheers! Hi everyone! In this video, we will see how to exploit a regular SQL injection vulnerability using manual methods. I'm using Jarvis from HackTheBox for this specific purpose, and let's jump in. I'm not going to do the enumeration phase since I've already done this, and room.php page with code parameter is vulnerable to SQL injection. How I detected is that when I search for the first one, it's given me an hotel result. When I'm adding a when I'm adding a single code, the hotel result page is returning empty. To understand if this is really vulnerable to SQL injection, I'm adding a MySQL comment at the end of the search results to see if the error message will disappear, and it does. So the first step generally I'm trying to learn is how many columns I'm going to deal with by saying order by, and I will write some numbers here. Let's start with 1 and the comment. It's not giving me, if it's not giving me an error, I will just increment the number until it gives me an error. For instance, if I say 5, it's not giving me an error. I will just continue incrementing by saying 6, still no error. When I say 7, still no error. When I say 8, when I say 8, it gives me an error because the search result is just disappearing. So the last number before the error message is the number of columns, which means 7 is the number of columns in this case. What I'm going to use is union method by saying union select 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 columns that we are dealing with in here. In order for this to give me a result, I will write a non-existing value for code parameter, for instance, -1, or you can go crazy, say 1000, but to be safe, I'm generally writing minus values. So the first information that I want to get is I will write version in here to get the version information. So as you see in this area, we see it's a MariaDB and we are getting the version information. If I ask for user, it will give me the current user information, which is dbadmin at localhost. That's good. I'm generally trying to read files after that step by saying load file and then etc passwd. And it gives me the results. That's great. Generally, the next step I'm doing is I'm trying to upload a file, but first of all, I need to learn what's the default directory for me to upload the files. So that, for instance, if I upload the file called test.php, I need to learn the root directory to upload it. For that purpose, I'm reading a file which is a default configuration file for Apache in this directory. It gives me the results. To make it more visible, I am reading the view source. And it shows me the document root as var.html. So now I know where to upload the files if I have right permissions on this server with my current user. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write my payload in here. And I will write into a file into out file. Var html academia, let's say .php. So now let's search for this file. It's not complicated. Academia.php, and my parameter is Kalisa as I wrote in here. And now I will try to execute some commands in here. For instance, if I say ls, if the file is uploaded, this parameter is supposed to tell me the results for this command. It's not happening. So let's see where did we do the mistake. It's probably getting angry at me because I use single quotes 2 times, so it's mixed right now. So I will just change these single quotes with double quotes and we'll try again. And now it works. So both of them single quote is just a terrible idea apparently. So Alessio is working. I can ask who am I to see my current user on the server, data. So at that step, I'm generally trying to get a reverse shell, right? I already intercepted the request with verb. Let's go there. Let's intercept the request and send repeater. I am getting my information in here. So the next step I'm gonna do is I will turn off verb and I will search for reverse shell, one-liner, Pentas monkey. This cheat sheet is like saving my life all the time. The one that I'm using is this one. I'm going to verb again, writing my comment in here. My IP should be 10.10.14.9. I can listen on the port 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have anything against that. I will go to my shell, listen on the port 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will URL encode this value and send my request, and I got the shell. So that was manual way of getting data. If you wanna summarize what I just done, uh, code parameter was vulnerable to SQL injection. When I write the single code, it was giving me an error. So if I say detection, single quote was creating an error. It doesn't have to be an error message saying there's an SQL error in your query or something. It can be, it's supposed to be all about the behavior of the application. So after that, to be sure, I just added comment for MySQL to see if it falls, stop giving me an error, and it stopped. So at that point, I needed to learn number of columns. And in order to do that, I just wrote order by and some number, and I incremented this number until I reach out to 8 because 8 was giving me an error again. So the last number that's not giving me an error was 7. So I thought I learned that 7 is the number of columns. From there, I used union method by saying union select, and I wrote a meaningless value in here and saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in one of the area I just wrote version to get the version information. When I get meaningful results, I continued with to see if I can read files or not. I used load file and tried to read etc passwd, and it actually gave me the output. From there, I wanted to learn the root directory, so instead of etc passwd, I wrote the file default configuration file. From there, I saw that the root directory is var.html. After I make sure that that's the directory that I'm supposed to upload the files, I checked if I can actually upload the files. In order to do that, I will just copy and paste this and modify the file a bit. I wrote my payload in here, but I realized that 2 single quotes is just mixing everything, so I changed these to double quotes. And after that, I said into out file and the directory that I wanted to upload my file, and the file name, you can say, for instance, test.php, and then the comment. After successfully running this request, I just ask for test.html, let's say, And since the parameter that I'm writing is Kalisa, um, I wrote this and any comment from there. You can start with ls, you can start with who am I, and after that it was the damn time for a reverse shell. For reverse shell, I used this one-liner. You can get it online so easily. And you can change your IP address in here, any port number, your favorite one, whatever it is. And then I listen on this port with netget and I get my shell. So that was the manual way. Hi everyone. So in this example, we're gonna see the advanced SQL injection exploitation manually on the Hack the Box machine Karen. So this input area to write your email address and the forget PHP page is vulnerable to SQL injection. I already intercepted the request, send it to burp, and I'm sending it to repeater to see examples more efficiently. So if I write something, some text in here, at the end of the page, I'm getting the error message by incorrect format. If I write this in a normal email format, I shouldn't get any error message anymore. User not found with the email. Okay, this is a legit one. So if I write a single code, it should give me some error message regarding the database called error in database. Okay. So what we can do in here is whether we can copy and paste this request to extract data via SQLMap. But in this specific example, some of the characters are some of the characters are filtered, and we will try to bypass these filters, blacklists manually. So, and I will write my notes in here, and I will also share these notes with you if you want to do the attack by yourself, or you can just keep these notes as your cheat sheet. So what we can do is, in the beginning of an SQL injection, the first step is to detect the vulnerability. For detection, we're just using a single code. If it gives us an error regarding the SQL queries or the current database management system, then that means probably there is an SQL injection. Um, and and the first step that we're supposed to do is learn the number of columns. So you have to learn number of columns is that we're gonna write order by some number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, and then the comment, and then the comment signs. So what I'm gonna do is I already inserted my so I can say order by 1, then the comment. If I go back, it gives me the standard output instead of the error message. That's good. Then I deleted the error message by saying order by 1. But I'm trying to find the exact column number. When I say 2, it shouldn't give me an error. If it doesn't give me an error, I continue with 3. Still the same output. If I say 4, still nothing changed. If I say 5, I see that it gives me an error again. So the last number that doesn't give me an error was 4, which means 4 is our number of columns that we can work with, which are not found with emails. That was the output that I was looking for. So number of column is 4. What I'm gonna do from there is that I can try to get extract information with union by saying union select 1, 2, 3, 4, and comment again. So when I copy and paste this, let's see what kind of output I'm gonna get. It gives me an error. So this is a new output that we didn't see before. So that means we are probably blacklisted because of one of these keywords that I'm using. So for instance, if I if I remove this and just write union in here, delete this, I don't get an error message. If I write this, I get database error message again, but no blacklisting. So if I write a space in here to make it meaningful, it gives me an error message again. That means union word is blacklisted. What I can do is I can try to bypass the filter by changing the lowercase, uppercase characters. So it gives me the standard error message again. If I delete the single quote, okay, we are safe now. So that means if I change the lowercase, uppercase characters, I can be safe again. So what I'm gonna do is union select. I will try to use different cases again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of 4, I will write version and then comment again. I am getting incorrect format one more time. So one of the reasons why we are getting is that probably writing version is not allowed. So what I can do is I can get the same result in a different way by saying concat. First of all, let me introduce what concat is. I can write two values in the concat function to get the results AB. So if I write version in here, and instead of B, I am supposed to write something meaningful because it's looking for an email address. So this should give me the version information for default. So if I ask for version, it's giving me the version information server. That's good. So that means we can use concat to get the meaningful results from here. So the next thing I can do is I can try to learn the user information, the current user. I can try to learn the database. So let's see them one by one. I'm checking for this. The current user is Super CMS. If I check for database, it will give me the current database, which is Super CMS. Maybe I can write this results here. So I want to learn the current column name, and from information schema dot columns. Again, the same. So what I can do is maybe I can limit the results by one. Give me the character set name. What I get is operators is the table name. That's good. I also learned the table name as operators. So the next thing I'm gonna do is learning the column names. Column name. Again, a meaningful email address format from information schema dot columns, where table schema, or you can call it database, is not going to be equal to information schema. I do typos like all the time. It's one of my characters, and I will limit one. I will use the offset 5. This should help me to learn the column names. I'm there, right? Let's see. So when I change the uppercase, lowercase characters, it's given me the table name as operators, as we already know, table schema, which is database, super CMS. The column name is username when I set the offset 5. If I change the offset to 6, it should give me another column name as password. So what I'm going to use is, again, concat structure, and I will use username column, all right, underscore 8 add 8 column, close the parentheses from super CMS database dot table name, which is operators. Let's limit again, and comment should give me the results. Username is super CSS CMS admin, probably ADM. And if I change this information to password, if I change the column name, if I change column name to password, it should give me the password hash, which is this, not the A character because it was at the end. Copy. I will just go to CrackStation or any other online cracking website for hashes, and I should get the result if this is something already known. CrackStation, if I can type, huh? And this is a known hash, and the result is tomorrow, which is an MD5 hash. So that was the whole exercise for this box. Karen from Hack the Box. Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how to exploit SQL injection on MSSQL using manual techniques instead of SQLMap. So for this specific video, I'm using Finder from Hack the Box, and I will show you all the steps. I will show you all the steps to exploit SQL injection manually. I'm not doing enumeration phases again. This is not a walkthrough for this box. I found this login page and I detected that there is an SQL injection in here. Now I am showing you how to do it from the beginning with the detection phase. So let's jump in. So we have this login page. I am writing some random values here. Burp is on. I will intercept the request. Login type can be user or administrator. There's a remember me option. This will send another parameter as remember me. So I'm also clicking this to see maybe this is also vulnerable. I am sending this to burp. I intercepted the request. I'm taking this one to repeater to work on it more easily. So how I detected this is I inserted a single code to all these parameters, and when I inserted, let's start with this one for instance. If I insert a single code, so the one that I detected, the SQL injection, is login type parameter. When I insert a single code here, it's giving me an internal server error. So how I detected this vulnerability, because I don't see any SQL error message. So the thing generally I do when I'm exploiting this vulnerability manually is I'm adding a SQL command to see if whatever I write after this, or it can be a single code because it was a thing that was giving me the error, if this will be ignored, if this will be commented or not. So it's giving me another redirection. That means whatever I write after the comment is ignored. That means there's probably an SQL injection, and let's see if it's exploitable or not. What I'm gonna do from there is I will write union select. I should probably URL encode this to avoid any trouble. And I will start writing some numbers here to see when will I stop getting an error. In this way, I will learn how many columns do we have. Sorry, I need to write the comment again. And this should be good. If I say 3, error 4, error 5, error 6. Okay, on 6, it's not giving me an error anymore. If you've realized this, right, delete 6. I just get the set cookie, this one line for set cookie. If I write 6, I'm getting something encoded in here. So I'm sending this value to decoder to see what this is because it looks like URL encoded, sorry. So when I decode it, it's something ends with equal signs, which can be base64 encoded. I'm just trying, and it's giving me the 5, which means whatever I write in this fifth field, so it's showing up in response for set cookie email and base64 and URL encoded way. So I'm trying to now get meaningful results from here by exfiltrating some information. First, I'm going to ask for version. It's given me a huge value here. I'm sending it to decoder. First URL decode, then base64 decode. So it's giving me the information that this is an MSSQL server, 64-bit, all these version information, and bunch of stuff. So from there, what I can do is I can check for current user, current database. There's this really cool web page, as you already know. Let's say MSSQL cheat sheet, SQL injection, let's say. So the one that I'm generally checking is Pentest Monkey and also NetSparker's blog post about SQL injection cheat sheet is really cool. You can go to MSSQL and let's see what we can use to play around. So we can use version as we already did. We can check for current username, system user. Let's start with username. I'm not going to show you all of these examples one by one, but you can just play around with it. I'm taking this, something tiny, decoder, URL decode, and base64 decode. It's DBO. Alright, so what else we can do? We can use all these payloads, system user, all these stuff. What I am interested is my privileges. I'm going to see if, for instance, this is a member of sysadmin. This can be juicy information to use. Let's go there. Alright, whenever I copy paste this from a blog, it's giving me this problem. Alright, so I'm sending it to decoder, URL decode, base64 decode. So it's giving me 1. That means this is part of sysadmin, member of sysadmin. That's cool. So there's another blog post about MSSQL to RCE, to get a shell, to execute your commands. This is a really cool blog post that you can use. There are other cool blog posts that you can see how to exploit this vulnerability manually because sometimes SQLMap creates problem when you're exploiting, especially on this box. So knowing the manual way would always help you. So it's giving you all these payloads. First of all, to enable XP CMD shell because it's disabled by default. So then it's giving you a bunch of commands, SQL queries to exfiltrate data, to automate it. All right, so I wrote all the comments in here that you can use from, especially from this blog post. I break it down in here to understand what's going on. So this is our basic payload for login type. It can be 2, it can be 1. Then Then these are the options. These are the two commands that you can use to enable XPCMD shell. Or was it? It was there because it's generally disabled by default. Oh, where were we? Yeah. Then these are commands to exfiltrate data and to get a reverse shell um, using PowerShell. As you can see, we also changed the cases to uppercase and lowercase. I'm also pasting this payload at the end of the video so you can just copy and paste it as your own cheat sheet. Then we're taking this copy and I'm sending this to Peter again. I'm deleting this part. Yeah, this value. I'm URL encoding. We're also listening on the port 80, and I am sending the request, and the shell is coming. This is one moment that I'm generally getting super excited, but since before the video I already did this box, so excitement level is not that high right now. So when I ask who am I, if I can type, it's giving me the Fighter SQL server. So that was it, how to use SQL injection to manually exploit this vulnerability on MSSQL. So I hope this can help you. Please send me any questions that you have, and until the next video, cheers!